proudest day, and the proudest time, and the seat of a rally car, because that day and that hour and those minutes, I got the bit between my teeth. You know, I really stood up and was counted and said, this is not getting away. I remember when we pulled on our helmets and Donald says to me, what are we doing? I said, we're going for gold, Barrett. That's all was said. I can still picture that run. That was just the best run ever.
Welcome to Krunching Gears. Let's Talk Rally, episode 17. First of all, I'd like to welcome along Conor Edwards. Conor, you're very welcome along once again.
Kevin, thank you very much. Good to be here.
So in this episode, we're going to take a look back at the round 2 of the BRC, the Jim Clark Rally, and we're also going to then preview WRC Sardegna, the Tyrone Stages, and the Munster Stages. So without further ado, I suppose, the Jim Clark Rally at the weekend, you know, Keith Cronin dominated the rally, it has to be fair to say. Fastest on the two stages on the Friday evening, and then practically backed off on the Saturday, all day Saturday, drove at control pace. Fantastic result, Conor.
Yeah, no, brilliant, fantastic. Well, not just for Keith, I think it was a good day for anyone from the island of Ireland that was rallying over there. They all seem to come away with good results, but certainly Keith and Mikey, yeah, as you say, controlled is probably the best words to describe it. I think there was initial shock coming from the rally when we saw Oisin Price being excluded under the regulations, himself and Noel Sullivan. What do you call it? But it certainly didn't detract from the performance that Keith and Mikey put in.
No, I think it was just a real strong performance. You know, it's probably well documented at this stage that they swapped over to Pirellis before the event from the Hankook tyres. You know, was that a contributing factor? But you know, the talent of Keith behind the wheel. You know, this is the guy that has won 4 British Championships. Probably one of the most naturally talented drivers to come out of this island.
Yeah, it certainly is. And a man that's had very little seat time. You know, it's not like he's clocking up a load of events on this side of the water in between the BRC rounds. You know, he really is just getting into the car for each rally on the BRC Championship. And he's, you know, pedaling away like mad and doing fantastic.
Yeah, you know, it's fantastic to see. And as you mentioned there, you know, from the island of Ireland, you know, the junior guys, once again, you know, brilliant. Eamonn Kelly taking the 1, Kyle White 2nd, Johnny Mulholland 3rd, and then in the academy class too, Ken McBride taking that as well. So, you know, we talk about Irish age to smiling, that, you know, we've a lot to smile about after the weekend.
Absolutely, like a very strong, dominant performance on the British Rally Championship. And, you know, like it is one of the rounds or championships in Europe that a lot of, you know, still gets a lot of attention and attracts a lot of interest. So it's great to see our guys doing so well on those events. And
then, you know, we have to, you know, tip the hat then to the other guys competing over there as well. You know, James Williams finished 2nd there in the Hyundai R5. You know, and he's only done a handful of events in an R5 car, so that's, you know, a very strong result for them as well.
Absolutely is, and you know, again, the performance of the Hyundai as well, the R5, it's a good, solid, strong wee car as Josh is showing over here, and certainly, yeah, James is getting to grips with it himself and Di Roberts on notes. Very strong performance from themselves. Yeah,
and then Gary Pearson taking 3rd in the Fiesta Rally 2 as well. You know, Gary had a tremendous season last year, won national category in the BRC and 3 other championships as well. So it's good to see he has made the move up to the BRC as well, and it looks well at home.
Absolutely, very comfortable. And again, you know, in a Rally 2 Fiesta, was able to hold Marion Evans at bay. And, you know, Marion came in behind him in 4th place, but he kept Marion at bay. You know, very strong performance in the Rally 2.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, we talked about it last week. Those stages over there in Scotland, like the speed, the jumps, the bumps, like fantastic to view. It must be a great event to spectate on. Never mind to drive the stages on.
Absolutely. Listen, it's on my bucket list in the next year or two. Hopefully we'll get over to spectate on it, because whenever you see the clips of video or the pieces coming up on Twitter or YouTube there from the event. Like, it does look fantastic, nice fast flowing stages. Certainly is, you know, rally country over there.
Yeah, and like Louise Aikenwalker's commentary on the live stream, she is very excitable.
Absolutely. And gee, you know what? It's great to see she's still keeping the hand in and the interest in as well.
Exactly. So without further ado, we'll catch up with Eamonn Kelly and Conor Mohan. Fantastic result at the weekend, lads. The Jim Clark Rally won the junior station of the British Rally Championship and 7th overall, I think it was. Conor, I'm sure you're delighted with that.
Yeah, no, it was good to get it. We put a brave bit of work into it, probably the 2 weeks leading up to it, and we really pushed ourselves on it, and put a lot of work into the DVD and notes and into our recce and everything, and thankfully it all paid off in the end.
And Eamonn, you took the brave decision to play the Joker round as well. So, like, obviously, it all come together for you so well at the weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Conor said, we obviously put a big effort into it, so we were pretty confident in playing our Joker, knowing that we were going to put the effort in. Combined with the fact that it's probably like the most similar to event to Irish tarmac, so we knew it would be a good one to put the effort in on. But yeah, it was good that it paid off, and definitely when you play your Joker, it's a really, really good feeling.
Mm-hmm. And does that add an extra pressure on you then as well too? Can you do the likes of that? Is that in the back of your head?
No, not really, to be honest. You go into any event wanting to try and win, so it doesn't really change the outcome. But like I said, from the start of the year, I kind of knew that was the event I was going to play my Joker, so made no odds.
And we've seen the Jim Clark in the previous times that we think of Andrew Nesbitt, Eugene Donnelly, the classic stages over there. Are they as good a stages as what they looked?
Yeah, I think from the classic ones that we got to do, like the Abbeys and Battens one on the Friday night was just superb. Like, I've never done a stage like it. Combined with the fact that it was at night time, that was class. It was real, one of them kind of classic stages that you do get that adrenaline from when you come off the end of it. The other ones were really good too. I'm not too sure if they were classics, but definitely really good stages all around, super fast, and yeah, you had to be brave.
Absolutely. And Conor, like, rallying at night, like, it must be some buzz.
Oh yeah, it's definitely it would be one of my favourites now. Definitely rallying at night from the night now's not there. You get to see it all, but like no, it's good. It's good adrenaline rush now, and definitely, especially out there, them long stages, like facing into like 12 miles in the dark now. You can't get much better, really.
And like, that's full concentration from go to the end of the stage.
Yeah, literally, you have to be on it, and your notes all have to be matching in and be perfect, like, for it all to work, like, because you nearly have to have all your markers and everything in and have everything right that everything's gonna work, and where you can get your speed and cut your speed and all. It definitely is important.
And Eamonn, you're looking forward now to the next round, then the Nicky Grist stages at the start of July. Confident you'll keep that momentum going?
Yeah, absolutely. We did the rally last year, and we know it's a class event. It's really, really fast, committed, and just an all-round brilliant event. I mean, you're getting to do World Rally stages, which is just, it's fantastic. Confident, yeah, of course. Of course, we'd like to be near the top. You can never predict where you'll be, but we'll be going and giving it our best shot, and that's all we can do. So, but all in all, really, really looking forward to it.
And the gravel, it doesn't seem to face you anymore. Like, you've limited time on gravel, but you seem to have settled in really well.
Yeah, absolutely. It was obviously brand new to me last year, so we can go into this year having obviously more confidence, knowing where we stand. Obviously we've done a full year of tarmac rallying with no gravel yet, so it's going to take a bit of adjustment and a bit of testing and stuff just to get back up to speed. So can't expect to be flat out from the word go, but hopefully it won't take us too long.
Absolutely. And then looking forward into this weekend, a change of machinery back into the Polo R5 for the Munster stages. I would say both of you're counting down the hours now until Sunday morning.
Yeah, absolutely. You just don't turn down them offers. So it's class. So Mayo, like, I think about it most days, to be honest. It was class. Them machines are something else, and you really, really appreciate them when you go from driving, especially front wheel drive stuff, which is a little bit hairy at times, to getting into, it's like a big fast armchair. So it's but it's superb, and yeah, I can't wait.
And Conor, and from your own point of view, Can you looking forward to getting strapped into that armchair again Sunday morning?
Oh, can't wait. Yeah, no, it can't come quick enough. Like, but as Eamonn says, it's literally just like an armchair, like, because it just does everything that you want, and the harder you drive it, nearly the better it feels. Like.
And like, have you had a chance to look at the DVD yet for Sunday? What kind of stages are they?
I haven't got much of a look at it yet, but I've heard from a couple of other ones what stage are like, and that, and seem to be fairly good now. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, there's definitely plenty of mileage anyway. Again, I only had a very brief look at it at lunchtime, but yeah, it looks really, really good, and it's perfect for us in terms of getting seat time because there's plenty of mileage there.
Yeah. And that's the key. You need as much time in that seat now because you're hoping to take the polo to Donegal in June.
Yeah, that's the plan. Again, it's mad. It's the stuff of dreams. So to be doing Donegal in a top car, it's mad. Hasn't really sunk in yet, but obviously need as much time in the seat as possible if you want to be anywhere at all in Donegal, because everybody takes it up a gear for the hills. So seat time is just really, really valuable at the minute. But yeah, just to be going in the first place is class. It's it's going to be mental.
And with the 50th year of Donegal coming up this year too, so of what you said there, everybody ramps up for Donegal. That's going to have that level just pushed a wee bit further again this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think when you hear about, the amount of people trying to get entries, and you hear this driver is going to put in an entry, that driver's putting in an entry, it just creates such a buzz, combined with the fact it's such a special event, and then combined on top of that with the fact that you're going in a top car. It's just like, it's mad. Yeah, it's so exciting.
And Conor, like from a Monaghan man's point of view, it's been a rally. It's been kind to the Monaghan crews over the last few years as well.
Oh, definitely. Like it's literally down here. The buzz down here for it nearly is as good as nearly the buzz it is in Donegal, because like nearly every person you talk to is going to Donegal no matter what. Like if they're doing the rally or going to watch it, they're going up to it because it's a place to be nearly. Like.
Kevin, that was great to hear from Eamonn and Conor, and particularly get their side of the story on how the BRC Championship went, or the Jim Clark Rally went for them.
Absolutely, and looking forward to the weekend now in the polo and then on to Donegal. It's fantastic opportunity, and you can just see with Eamonn the passion that's there for rally, and it's fantastic to see.
Absolutely, and it's great he's getting a bit of tarmac experience, in the run up to Donegal as well. It will really help him.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Also coming up this weekend, Rally Sardegna. So I know we discussed a little bit about some of the issues the teams are going to face around the heat in the last episode. But again, still no word that there's a fix or a cure, and the teams have had very little time to do anything. So I suppose all eyes are and focus of attention is going to be on the temperatures in Sardinia.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I seen there, I think it was Colin Clark got up like a prediction for the weather the weekend ahead, and it's going to be hot again, so I suppose there's no quick fix to this, but that's how the teams cope with it. Like, and after looking at Portugal, you have to think Toyota's going into this year favourite to win again.
Absolutely. Well, certainly, like Cali Rovanpera is on a roll at the moment. I think there's a bit of pressure there on Elvin to get a decent score as well. And if Takamoto and Aaron have the same performance again that they had in Portugal, it all looks very good for them. But then when you move away from Toyota, then the pressure's on M Sport and certainly is on Hyundai.
Absolutely. And we can't forget Lappy from your mentioned Toyota there as well, too. So, but yeah, like M Sport wasn't their best rally, and same for Hyundai. The two teams really need to turn it around. I think M Sport showed, in Loeb that the pace was there, but the other cars seem to have niggling issues. Hopefully, them small niggling issues can be addressed, because like the pace seems to be in the car anyway.
Absolutely, and Malcolm Wilson himself said that after the event. He was fairly happy with where Loeb had got the car to before he had his uncharacteristic accident, and then obviously the problems on the next day with regard to the power unit. But it's about all the pieces coming together. I know Gus Greensmith was looking for a podium finish in Portugal, and it just didn't happen for him. So he's certainly trying and wants to get there. Craig Breen, who's leading that team, again, has to have another solid, strong result. Can he bring the fight to, the Toyotas on Sardinia? It's going to be interesting to see. And then, the youngsters as well, you've got Lube and you've got Formo. And again, they have to prove themselves. They are on the naughty step at the moment in M Sports book, and they really have to show that, the amount of backing and support that's been given to them by the team, they have to show that they deserve it.
Absolutely. And then, Hyundai, Danny Sordo, the third driver was the driver that, stole the headlines there. Yes, Neville and Tarmac had issues, but, you expect more from the two lead drivers, and I'm sure they're expecting more from the team as well.
Absolutely. Firstly, with Danny's going to come in here as a previous winner. He's got a great road position, and look what he did with that in Portugal. It'd be hard, if everything goes well and that car has no issues, it'd be hard to look past Danny as well, based on experience. With regard to Honda, I would have concerns. I'm starting to get a little bit anxious. They haven't said anything yet about a full-time team manager. There's issues in that car. And what concerned me most was Tanak speaking to the Estonian media after Portugal, and Thierry Neuville as well. Both of them, for the first time, voicing concerns and raising issues amongst the team and the car. And you kind of don't do that unless things aren't working very well.
Yeah, that's a huge concern. It really is. And as you say, Sordo, he seems to have this innate ability to step into a car and drive around issues. He just seems to get on with it. No matter what it throws at him, he can deal with it, get on with it. And as you say, it has to be considered strongly for the one, like Roving Pair running first in the road. It has to be a disadvantage. But we said that in Portugal, So Evans, I think he needs to be in, at the very least, podium, if not the one this weekend, if he wants to get his championship back on track.
Yeah, it's a big task for Elvin. It really is. Him and Scott, they have to make it work. They've got to make sure they avoid any issues, avoid punctures. And and certainly the whole puncture issue, there definitely is a question mark over the quality of the Pirelli tires. They are letting down the teams. So if Elvin can avoid those issues, and if there's no issues again around the hybrid unit, fingers crossed he puts in a good event and he scores decent points to help him get back on track. But I don't know, could he be a bit rattled, a bit unnerved with how well Callie's doing at this stage? Again, you have a lot of the WRC media starting to talk Callie up already with 9 rounds to go as the champion this year.
Yeah.
And yes, he's good. He's been fantastic, but it's probably a bit early for that yet.
Yeah, it's a bit early doors. We're only on round 5 now. It's a bit early doors to be chatting about a champion elect at this stage.
Yeah. It is. Obviously, maybe is that because we're missing an Oje and a Loeb full time, and the media doesn't know where to go yet, or they're so used to talking one of the two of them up at this point in the season.
Absolutely. And we can't forget our own men, Josh McLean and James Fulton, there competing this weekend as well too. So we're wishing them all the best. Like Portugal, maybe the rally didn't go the way they wanted it, but they set fastest time. Yeah, it was a street stage, but it's still the fastest time.
Absolutely. Listen, when we're looking back in 5 years or 10 years time, we're not going to look at the weather conditions. We're not going to look at the street stage. We're just going to recognize that they had the fastest time on that stage and on the Porto stage. So yeah, hopefully, that gives them the lift that they need. I think if they hadn't had that and they came away from Portugal after having the puncture and the steering failure and the other issues, it would have been a downer. But this is probably, hopefully, giving them that lift going into Sardinia and raised the confidence again for the pair.
Absolutely. And then, this weekend, then we also have closer to home, we have the Tyrone Stages. That's Northern Ireland Championship. It's, brilliant to see, yeah. And of course, yeah, there's a lot of guys doing the event, testing for Donegal and one thing and another. But another 100 entries again this weekend, I think. We have all the main protagonists there. We have Desi Henry, Johnny Greer, Catherine McCourt, Gary Jennings. They're all there. It's great to see it.
It is. It's been a great resurgence in the Northern Ireland Championship. I mean, if you go back pre-COVID, that championship was in the doldrums. It was struggling to get, a really attract, you know, strong caliber, because a lot of the guys were looking at the national championship or the tarmac championship, and we're putting their focus there. And even for a while, the BRC was attracting a lot of the Irish entries, and the Northern Ireland Championship was suffering. But this year's been fantastic. The competition, the winners, you know, it's there's been a good mix. It hasn't been a runaway success for any one person. It's been a real good mix, and some really good rallies thrown into it as well.
Yeah,
you know, those Tyrone Stages look fantastic.
Yeah, like, you know, I think having so many events on the roads this year has definitely played dividends. You know, it's been a lot of the time, you know, it's been the Kirkstones, the Bishop's Court, and like those track type events, you know, they just don't suit everybody.
Yeah, they don't. You know, if you had a background in karting or somewhere like that, then yeah, they're a natural home. But if you've come into rallying purely from getting into a rally car and driving on roads, no, those circuit stages don't suit you. And one man I'm very interested to see how he gets on is Cahan McCourt. Yeah. I've been probably blown away by how strong Cahan has been this year.
Yeah, the fact that, you know, he has jumped into like a Fiesta Rally too, he jumped into a Skoda, he's jumped into the Citroen there for the Maiden City Stages, and being competitive in each car he's jumped into, like that takes a bit of doing.
It certainly does, but I wonder, has he found the right one in the Citroen? Because they certainly seem to, you know, they really gelled. Yeah, he just seemed to take to the Citroen above all the other cars that he's been in.
Absolutely. I love Liam's comment in the last podcast that, you know, they've kissed a lot of gears, but they think they've found their gear now. You know, I think that's just a classic statement, you know. So, yeah. So, like, it's going to be hard to protect the winner there again. You know, Desi Henry's on a rich vein of form. Catherine McCourt, as you say. Gary Jennings there, you know, obviously in the build-up for Donegal too. It's, you know, pick a number between 1 and 10 almost.
Kind of, it really is. You know, you've Philip Allen, you've, you know, Declan Boyle, Pater Hurston. Like, there's a real strong mix in that top 10. Yeah, it would be a struggle to come out on top. You know, would you say Desi's a favourite? Greer, you know, Cahan even now at this stage. Yeah. It's just a hard one. You know, it is. It's you know, drop a pen or.
Yeah, and then, you know, like Munster again, a lot of the same guys are doing the two events. You know, you have Catherine going down, Declan going, Darren Gass is doing the two events. You know, that's huge commitment for teams to do two events in 2 days.
It is. That's it's a big ask. All right, there's a lot of effort, a lot of work, a lot of money going into that. You know, yeah, fantastic preparation for Donegal, but at this stage, you know, with how many days have we left to run? 17 or so days to Donegal. You can't afford to be putting the car in the ditch either.
No, it's caution, but you still want to show speed as well too at the same time. Yeah. So it's a fine line.
Absolutely, no point in taking part if you're not going to be competitive. And again, a fantastic entry in Munster there. You know, with Josh and Sam, you know, who are just going to be concerned with beating each other. Never mind everybody else. Cahan McCourt, Declan Boyle, Robert Barabel. Be lovely to see how he gets on. And then with Gary Jennings as well in there.
Yeah. And again, you know, we talked about Tyrone Stages, pick a number between 1 and 10. You could do the same in Munster as well, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Munster always is a stern test, you know, hard, you know, stages with a lot of driving in them as well too. They're not soft stages normally down that part of the world.
No, they're not. There's a bit of an edge to them, and you know, again, a little bit of a speciality. So again, it's going to suit the local crews.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, and we caught up with them speaking to like the guy who's returned to the stages after a bit of a break is Gareth McHale. We'll hear his thoughts. So Gareth, you're very successful in rally, and you can sort of think mid noughties, late noughties. Your time in the Irish Forestry and then the Irish Tarmac Championship. Do you want to just give us a wee recap then of your early years?
Yeah, well, I suppose it all really started back in 2000. We went and we bought a James Foley Honda Civic. And the first rally we did was the Clare Stages there in 2000. And then unfortunately then foot and mouth hit then in 2001. So we did just a couple of the events, like there was down in Limerick there in the race course in Limerick, and a couple of rally sprints. So then we looked about the Peugeot Super Cup over in the UK. So that came together there in 2002. And we did 3 years of that, which was very good. And that brought us on then with Jerry McGarity there from Irvinstown. He looked after the car, and he also did driver tuition with me. So really enjoyed that. The Peugeots was very, very good. You know, it was a one-week championship. There was an awful lot learned in it. You used stages that were classics over in the UK there in Wales and right up through Kielder in Scotland. And it was a great learning curve. And we had a bit of success with that. We won a couple of rallies. It was very, very tough, but we really, really enjoyed it. And then after that, then the opportunity came to do Punchestown, the Rally Masters that time that Dad organised there with Ronan Morgan in Punchestown. And the opportunity came there to drive the Corolla WRC there. It was backed by Sony, was backing the event. And they were looking for a car to be sponsored by it. And the opportunity came to take out the Corolla. So we did a good run of that. And that opened up to go into the Irish Forestry Championship. And we had a very, very good championship that year. We had very close battles there with Glen Allen the whole way through it, really. And I think we got on the Forestry Championship, I think we had 5 wins and 2 seconds, I think it was. And that led on. It was great to win the Irish Forestry Championship. Along with Paul Nagel was sitting with me then. And after that, then we acquired a Focus from M Sport, and we went and did a couple of rounds of the WRC.
That must have been some experience back in the day too. Like, you know, you look at your EWRC results, like Monte Carlo, Mexico. Like, it must have been an amazing adventure.
Oh, it definitely was. Yeah, it was brilliant, really. You know, to go over there and even just to see the organisation and to drive on stages that are world famous, you know, like the Coach Torini and Monte Carlo, and also then to go and sample the professionalism really of the WRC teams. And it really does open your eyes. I think there, unfortunately, really, when we were there was no real sort of stepping stones at that stage. The junior WRC was sort of coming to an end, and it was before they started putting in sort of all the new sort of you know, like the Pirelli stars and all that was coming up then after that.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a little bit there. You're sort of in at the deep end, and obviously with the World Rally cards, it was very, very expensive. And we were quite fortunate to be very good sponsorship there at that time from Sanyo and from Maxall, and it allowed us to do, you know, like 6 rounds of the World Championship, and we had a great result in Mexico to finish 6th overall. And even to go over there and sort of sample the different culture and everything like that, it was a great experience, and it really was. It's a fond memory.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then you started then rallying a wee bit closer to home. Then you know, we're thinking of 07, 08, 09, and like the McHale family has always been a great supporter of Irish rally, and none more so whenever Rally Ireland was in its inception, really, right from the get-go.
Yeah, so Rally Ireland sort of came about there, obviously, with Ronan Morgan again and Willie John Dolan. And really all the motor clubs came together in Motorsport Ireland. You know, it's sort of a lot of sort of people mightn't realise how difficult it is to get around to the World Rally Championship. There was an awful lot of competition there, and even as a commercial end of it there for the manufacturers, obviously it goes back to that as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it was great for Ireland to get it and to get it twice. And to run it out of Sligo and do the cross-border initiative, I think was a big plus there as well. You know, to be starting off in Stormont and also to be travelling stages in the north and in the south. It really brought the whole rallying community together, and I think it showcased Ireland in a great light.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, still they think of them iconic images of, you know, Mullaghmore Head, Donegal Bay, even Stormont itself. You know, them's going to live long in the memory. How fortunate we were.
Oh, 100%. Like, even if you just see there, the support even that turned out, because the weather wasn't too kind the time of year that it was. Sligo, you know, it rained really for a week, and the crowds is unbelievable. Like, even there's a picture there that I have as well as coming back into the finish there in Sligo, and the car was just surrounded by supporters and fans and everything. And it really is, it's a credit to everybody involved, and they're great memories to have as well, Kevin. You know, especially have Aaron competing and Dad as well, to have the 3 of us out in the first year, which was brilliant, and especially with all the effort that Dad put in as well. It was great to have it, and yeah, it's a great memory to have.
For sure, that's for sure. And like, also at this time, you're competing at home doing the Tarmac Championship as well. What it has to be said, a fair amount of success too.
Yeah, we came back there. We had a bit of a bad accident in Sardinia. We went off side of a cliff, and that sort of put an end to the World Championship at that time. We sort of had a look at it, and sort of with the cost that was involved and sort of what you could really get out of it, then really at the end it was very, very difficult. So we came back and we did a few rounds here in Ireland to try and get our head back in the game really, and get back up to speed. And then we went to do the Tarmac Championship in 2008, and 2008 was Eamonn Boland. Eamonn Boland won the championship in 2008, and then we did a good battle all year. Then in 2009 with Eugene Donnelly, and we got our first win then in Donegal and Cork. Actually, I think we won those two rallies in 2009, and yeah, really had a great tight battle with Eugene then. And then 2010, it all came together first, myself and Brian, and we were able to wrap up the championship. Yeah. And I think you need a couple of years, because the Irish Tarmac Championship is as you know yourself, it's very, very, it's at the pinnacle of the sport really, the roads, the speed, competitors and everything like that. So it takes a couple of years sort of to get anywhere near there.
You're competing against the likes of them guys who have maybe been doing like Donegal or Cork or whatever, maybe 5, 6, 7 times, and you're only there once or twice. That wee bit of knowledge is key to a lot of them events, isn't it?
Oh, definitely it is. I spent an awful lot more time watching on the ditches than I was on the stages, but yeah, it's what it is key there. But it really is. It's a great championship to do, and all the stages we say, like Cork, Killarney, Donegal, Galway, even they're classic stages, and that's what your rally here for, is for the stages and the buzz that's with that, and like you can see it even say over the last couple of years, even Craig coming back here, Craig Green, to do the Tarmac Championship. He had the brains to sort of to come back to get his rallying together, and it has really sort of put a springboard for him to get back into the World Championship, where, as you see, he's doing very, very well there, and he's the lead driver for Ford. But if you look even at that year, you have Alistair Fisher and Josh and Sam Moffat, like they were running fierce tight. There was no rally where he ran away with it.
No, there was no rally he dominated really. He was fast in a lot of the stages, and one thing I know, but he never had like a minute or a 2 minute lead at any stage. Like the local guys kept him honest the whole year, and that probably has led him to find his mojo again as such.
Yeah, and then sort of he'd be the first to admit it as well, that he kept the dive sharp by the competition here, and placed together, and that's why I think that we have a championship that's very, very proud, and even like the national championship as well. You can see it there, the competition that's there the whole way through, like right down through Ireland. I think there's a bit of a cult culture here, and it's something that we should all be very, very proud of.
Absolutely. There's very few places across Europe there's such strength and depths. You maybe have some certain championships, or maybe it's a stronger, maybe top 20 or something. But the strength of Irish rallying is from number 1 to number 161, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely is. And then even the whole way down to whole battles, that are all down to the different classes. You can see, like even the national, like the modified lads, they're on some place as well. It's frightening what they're doing there, but it's a credit to them, and it's the competition that drives each driver on to to perform as best you can, and to give it 100% effort. It is sort of like a semi-professional sport now, with what the lads are doing. And like even you see it there, it's down to seconds. It's not 30 seconds or, like
it's tenths of a second in some stages.
10 seconds at a stage, you're sort of looking, oh, that's it, you're out, So, great.
It is.
It really is.
So you took a wee bit of a sabbatical then for a few years, but the itch needs scratched again, so you're making a comeback?
Oh, well, that's it, yeah. Sort of priorities changed. Life sort of moved on, sort of family and everything, but obviously the bug is always there, once it's in your blood, I think, and you've done it before. It's like a drug. You just you always crave it. But so yeah, the opportunity came along. We were looking at it there, and then when we heard that there was sort of rumours that they might allow the right-hand drives in, you know, to for overall or to compete in the main field of the international rallies, we decided to sort of to have a look and see about making a comeback. And yeah, the opportunity came to acquire 2 polos, Aaron and myself, and went over. We had a look at the cars. You know, we did a bit of research on them. They seemed to be the car to have, and I know obviously the development has stopped with them. Volkswagen has obviously pulled out, but they put an awful lot of development and work into the cars, and I don't think there'll be much sort of difference in the engine power or something like that between any of the R5s, but they seem to handle very well. They seem to have the setup and the suspension and chassis very well sorted on it. So haven't got a spin in them yet now, but can't wait to get going and give it a crack and sort of go out and enjoy rallying and go back and do it, and obviously want to compete again and sort of out for a bit of fun and see what we can do. But obviously the lads at the front are at a great pace, so they'll be doing their own thing. But yeah, just to go back out and get back into it, as I said.
Mm-hmm. And like, you know, you have Cookstown and Munster coming up this weekend. Is this more or less a test?
Oh yeah, no, definitely. You know, Ronan O'Kane is converting 2 cars, and in fairness to him, he's done a great job. He's I think it might be just finished there this evening. But you know, he's put some work night and day on them for the last 6-8 weeks, and you know, there's not a lot of work in it. So definitely, Tyrone and Circle Munster will be treated just as tests. You know, I feel that you could go and sort of maybe close off a bit of road and test away, but after a certain amount of time, you won't be learning too much. But sort of been out of the car and been out of the motorsport since 2018, and I only did 2 rallies in 2018. I did Clare Stages and we did the Harvest, and the Harvest was a washout there in October that year. But try and get back into the notes, Kevin, you know, and into the whole working and get your head back up to speed and stuff like that. And with the way that the car is even, you know, the R5 cars, they seem to be able to just so well balanced that they can just corner so much faster, say even from the WRC cars, from the Focus where we would have been in before. Mm-hmm. And so I think it's just an awful lot has to be get back up to that sort of running and get the head back in gear for that. And your notes will have to sort of reflect that and everything, and you know, braking the whole lot, and tires has even changed, like, you know, what there is now. Yeah. You know, compounds have changed like that. So yeah, it's going to be a big learning curve, but I can't wait to get going at it and just get back in and put on the helmet and away you go.
Yeah, because like, you know, talking to the other drivers, and I think it's the cornering speeds and the braking in these cars. It's just phenomenal. And this is even coming from guys, you know, that drove the latest generation, you know, the 16 spec Fiesta and things. Like how much that whole progress has come on in the last 4 years. It's mind blowing, really, isn't it?
Yeah, but we were down there in Galway. We just brought one of my sons down, Oran, down there to Galway just to have a look. And even in the wet and Galway conditions are very, very slippy. The speed that they're is phenomenal. And even, you know, the braking, like they're braking from flat out after the 100-meter board, like down into junctions, and the cars are just able to stop. So credit to them there, you know, like you can trust yourself and trust the car to do it. I think, you know, that's why the likes of Callum and Alistair and Josh are that, and they're getting the best out of the cars, and it's a great show there that they're doing, and it's a credit to them.
Yeah. And where would you like to see yourself, say, come Donegal on Sunday in Donegal? Where would you like to see yourself pace wise?
Going over the ramp on Sunday.
Yeah, get to the finish as the priority.
That is the priority, definitely. Get to the finish, you know, like they're a different generation, these lads, and look, Ali, we're out to enjoy. Obviously, you will have that bit of competition in you that'll always be in you, and the fight that's going to be there for sure. But no, look, is to get out, sort of to do a bit of a learning with it, to use these couple of rallies. The plan is to do Tyrone, Munster, Donegal and Cork, and and just see if everything goes well, and then we can maybe look about that next year at, you know, doing the championship. But no, with Donegal, it's been 50 years. It's definitely you don't want to be sitting home when it's 50 years at Donegal.
There has to be a bit McHale name on that entry list.
you know, and especially with what Donegal Motor Club are doing up there to celebrate the 50 years. I think it's going to be an absolutely fantastic weekend. Yeah. And just can't wait to get going on and then back up on those stages again. And hopefully the weather's good. The competition will be good as well.
Excellent. Well, Gareth, thank you very much for taking the time to join us.
No, thanks very much, Kevin. And I just want to say thank you there for all the podcasts and everything during the lockdown. It was great. It was very, very enjoyable, and you kept the show going there during the lockdown.
It's fantastic to see Gareth and Aaron McHale back. You know, the McHale name, it's synonymous with Irish rallying. So great after the break those two guys have had to see them back competing. Be very interested to see how they get on with the polos and how long it takes them to get up to speed. And Kevin, you also, ahead of the Tyrone Stages, you caught up with David Bogie.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Not a bother. So, David, Tyrone Stages coming up this weekend. Last weekend you're in a mini WRC. Is it difficult to make the transition from a WRC car back to the Mark II?
Yeah, I suppose it is. It's tricky to get the most out of both cars. It's quite difficult jumping back and forward. Of course, the minis, you know, right-hand drive, four-wheel drive, and predominantly I've used the car on gravel. And of course, the Escort being left-hand drive, rear-wheel drive, and used on tarmac. So yeah, it's a bit tricky jumping back and forward, but it certainly adds to the challenge.
Yeah, absolutely. And have you had a chance to look at the DVD ahead of this weekend yet? What do you make of the stages coming up this weekend?
We haven't yet. Obviously, we have the recce on Friday. So yeah, we've planned to test on Thursday evening to get back up to speed with the car again. And of course, we'll be looking to get a good recce to give us the best chance possible on Saturday.
Yeah, and the three stages done three times is probably an ideal format for you then, because you're getting almost an extended test.
Yeah, exactly. It allows us to try things with the car and see if we can improve our stage time. So yeah, very much looking forward to it. It's going to be a hot pace, that's for sure. A great entry there. We've got Ryan Loughlin running behind us, and he's going to be a fantastic benchmark. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. Really looking forward to it.
Absolutely. And, you've always had this special relationship with Ireland, and it's been going on for years. What sparked that?
I suppose I've always loved Irish rallying, going back to the days when, my dad rallied in Ireland with a Metro 6R4. So, yeah, I just love Ireland, but probably what really sparked my interest in Irish rallying in Donegal was 2007. Donegal when Sebastian Loeb was across. I was there as a spectator, and that's when the Donegal bug really bit. And I love the place. I've been looking forward to it since we hit that wall in Knockalla in 2019, and can't wait for the challenge.
Absolutely. And you've won it in the Metro and you've won it in the Mark II, the national category. I would say you'd like to repeat that again. Yeah, definitely. If there was another goal in my rally, then that's it. I'm desperate to win the national. That's the one. So, I think now, given the competition, it's definitely going to be hard. But it's a long, hard rally, and it'd be great to spray the champagne outside the Mount Erical again. And then, there's talk that you're building a new car. Is that going to be ready in time for June, or where's that in the build process?
We're building a new car, which unfortunately won't be ready in time for Donegal. We tried our best to get the car ready in time, but we've got to make sure that the car is right before we take it out on the stages. So we're just running a wee bit short on time. So we're hoping to have that out later on in the year.
Yeah, and the car that you have is already been proved phenomenally fast. And in Donegal in 2019, you had a bit of a tricky Friday, but come Saturday, the times you were starting to knock in the times, and the car has obviously been continually developed from then. So the car you're taking is going to be no soft touch either.
Yeah, definitely. As you say, we had a bit of a tricky Friday in Donegal and changed the suspension for Saturday, and the car was performing really, really well. So yeah, it's an absolute fantastic piece of kit. We've seen areas in the car where we could improve weight distribution and traction, and yeah, it's one of those, development never stops. And, given the pace that these guys are on in the modified section, I certainly need all the help I can get. So, yeah, we're hoping that the new car is going to be a step ahead again, but I always need to wait and see.
Yeah, and we think back to 2019. We remember Ken Block, the video of Ken Block sitting in the car. He took a real shine to the car as well, didn't he, that weekend?
Yeah, he did. He loved the car, and I suppose Ken Block's no different to the rest of us in the respect that he's a petrol head. He's mad for rallying. He's mad for Mark II escorts, and he took a real shine to the car, which was great to see. So yeah, it's a fantastic car, and it's also a credit to the guys that paid it.
Yeah, and do you still get a great buzz every time you sit behind the wheel of that car?
Absolutely. 100%. There's just nothing like it. I love modified rallying. I love rallying in Ireland, and the buzz you get from driving a car like that. The noise, the revs, the sideways. It's fantastic, and I think modified rallying, in my opinion, today is stronger than it's ever been. In regards to the quality of the machinery and the standard of the crews. It really is something.
Mm-hmm. Looking forward to Donegal. You're going to have the likes of Rob Duggan, Kevin Eves, Ryan Loughlin, we mentioned earlier there, and probably 10, 15 other guys who all think they're going there to hopefully win. Isn't that phenomenal to be part of that there?
It definitely is, and how do you pick a winner out of that lineup? Yeah. I think if we'd start listing the crews now that are capable of winning the national, we'd be here for ages. So. It's a long, hard rally. It's obviously 3 days of tough, demanding stages, and I think it's a rally where you've got to drive your head as well. The rally can't be won on the Friday; it's won on the Sunday, and you have to be there at the end. So, hopefully we'll be fit for it. Hopefully the car will be fit for it, and as I say, we're just desperate to get involved.
David, thank you very much for taking the time to join us.
No problem at all. Thank you.
Yeah, once again, we have another fascinating weekend of rallying ahead of us here in this island again. The Tyrone Stages, the Munster Stages, and Sardinia as well, we can't forget about. So, once again, thanks for listening. Can you please like, share, comment, tell us your thoughts. We're quite happy. We like to listen to your thoughts as well as our own. So, until the next time, take care, speak soon, and bye.